Hello, Marcus Guiliano here, international business author, speaker, Forbes Business Council contributor, and most importantly, fellow restaurateur. I'm going to answer a comment, respond to a comment here on a forum, on a Facebook forum. There's lots of great forums out there for us restaurateurs to learn, share, and get some great resources. So I'm going to read a post and respond to it. And here we go. Hey everyone, I'm considering starting on-the-job interviews. Another restaurant in my area does them, and I feel this is a right move for my business. I can usually tell within a couple of hours if someone is going to be a right fit for us. So this is great. This is a really great way to interview people, on-the-job interview. We've been doing it for years. It's part of the interview process. We do an interview. We have them come fill out an application. We give them a mission statement right up front. Mission statement's right up front in the application. So even before we've hired you, you know our mission statement. It's stapled to it. There you go. That's your copy. So in the interview process, I give them a job description and say, this is the job description for the job. Is this something that you think that you can do? And then, of course, I do my regular interview where I have some great tips on interviewing people, because the people will tell you anything and they'll write anything on a resume. But once they tell you, like, for example, I'm just going to give a quick example of this. So if somebody goes, oh, well, I worked at Starbucks making, or I worked at, let's not say Starbucks, I worked at this coffee shop making cappuccino and espresso. Then you would say, oh, that's great. What shift did you work? Because you ask them questions back. Oh, I worked the breakfast shift. Great. How many espressos did you make on average per shift? And if they were like, they could say, oh, 100, or I'm not really quite sure. So two different answers, right? Well, how many espressos did you make? Can you make at one time? Can you make espresso and cappuccino at the same time? How do you manage, what type of machine do you have? How many groups is it? Start asking them specific questions like who does the coffee order? Are their beans just automatically there? Who grinds them? Are there different ways that a guest can ask for ground coffee? Ask specific questions where you can back them into a corner. And the farther you can back them up, the more qualified they are. So if you back them into a corner the first question, like, really? Like, you're not, there's nothing really, jives with what you've written and what you're telling me. So beyond that, let's get back into on-the-job interview. So on-the-job interview, I explain that's part of the process. Now, you mentioned in this comment about pay. For me, I pay everybody that comes in. I automatically pay them because I do not want to break a law, potentially break a law, or have somebody just call the labor department on me anyway and just just ruffle feathers. It's just not worth it. So I pay them. I tell them what the pay is. If it's front of the house staff, they get minimum wage. So they're going to get minimum wage. They might not get tips if it's for a couple hours. If they jump in and they're working, we give them tips. If it's back in the kitchen, it might be $12, $13, whatever. I had a guy recently who came in and this is what he wanted an hour. And I said, okay, let me have you in a working interview and I'll pay you what you're asking for an hour. That's what I'll pay you for your working interview. I have no problem doing that. And typically, you can tell, like this person says in this comment, you can tell within a couple of hours if somebody's going to be a fit for your restaurant. And right then and there is when you can say, okay, I'm going to cut my losses. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. And cut your losses at 2 hours. But if they're working out, keep paying them and let them keep working. Hey, Marcus Guiliano here. So if you like the content that I'm providing in this video, you can get my book, 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make, for free. Follow the link below in the description of the video, and there's a link to get this book for free. I will ship it to you. You just pay the shipping. I've got the books already here. They're already paid for. 50 Mistakes That Business Owners Make. 15 years plus of me documenting my mistakes and how I corrected them and how I mastermind with some of these mistakes and how I learn from others and what I teach my coaching clients. And again, this book is totally free, so take advantage of it while supplies last. But if they're working out, keep paying them and let them keep working. Now, here's a key part to interviewing staff. You've interviewed the staff. Now let the new staff member, potential new staff member, let the other staff interview that staff member. So, and I don't say, hey, Joe, the sous chef, or Joe, the cook, the line cook, or the dishwasher, go drill this guy with questions. Just observe them. Talk to them. See how friendly they are. Find out where they've worked in the past. It's just simple talk, and just find out and give them some tasks to do. See how their knife in the kitchen. See how their knife skills is. us chefs, we can tell interviewing a cook, you put a knife in their hand. First of all, if a cook shows up without a knife, that's a question, okay? They're showing up without a knife. If you're coming to an interview and you know you're coming to an on-the-job interview in the kitchen and you're a cook, you bring a knife. So you can tell by, is their knife sharp? Do they have a knife? Their cutting skills, how they hold, how quick are they, this and that. And give them something simple, like peel some onions. Peel me some onions. I had a guy come in one time who was a cook, like 2 years experience as a cook. We talked a good game, talked a really good game. Said, peel some onions. I had to show him how to hold a knife. It turned out when I did his reference check, he was not a cook. He was a dishwasher that wanted to be a prep cook. But I taught him how to hold a knife during the interview. And right then and there I knew, I said, okay, so listen. I said, this is what I can use you for. And I was honest. I was like, this, and this. I can use you for dishwasher. I can teach you. I can teach you if you're willing to learn. But, and that's how it went. He worked for me for 6 months. He learned some stuff, started doing prep. And he did a decent kid. But that on-the-job training is crucial. On-the-job interview is crucial to see what's happening and get other people's opinions. It doesn't matter if the person's a rock star. If other people can't work with them, they're useless, right? You have to make sure everybody jives and everybody's happy back there and everybody's a happy family in the kitchen in front of the house. And explain to the person you're interviewing, there's no hard feelings if this job's not for you. I understand that this is different than other jobs. You do things a different way. And if you came to me the next day, 2 hours, and said, you know what, it's really not for me, because not only am I interviewing you, but you're kind of seeing if this place works for you as well, right? I want you to be happy here. I don't want you to take a job that you're not happy with, because I don't want you to come here and in 2-3 months start looking for another job. So I really want to make sure this is a great fit, and this is why we're doing this process. So it's extremely important to be 100% open and honest up front. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all. And I tell stuff, you're not going to hurt my feelings. And to a lot of them, I'll say, I'd rather you be able to come in here as a guest someday and feel comfortable and not the guy who walked out of an interview. I want to be totally professional with you, this about. And that works. That line there works. And they'll tell me. They'll sit down with them and tell them, just tell me. Be honest with me. Because again, I want you to be a guest. I want you to be a future guest here. I don't want you to have to feel bad about ever coming in here to eat. That's not what this is about. And that works right there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Any questions, comments, leave them and I'll be happy to answer them.